This is Mark Bell from SuperTraining.tv, Super Training Gym, the strongest gym in the West. We have East Sacramento CrossFit in the coach's eye. This video was sent to me by the owner of East Sacramento CrossFit, Justin Riley. Let's get to it. We got a lot of people to get to. First thing that we see here is a breakdown in the neck. We got broken neck syndrome, and that needs to be fixed. A couple of ways to fix the broken neck syndrome is to look down a little bit more, is to raise the hips up a little bit more, and to get rid of this overextension that we have in the back. Okay? So let's watch this one through. Missed the lift. Weight does look a little bit too heavy, but I think she can manage it. Again, if she brought her hips up a little bit more, if she allowed her knees to come forward a little bit more. This one, she looks like she corrects the neck positioning, but just kind of comes unraveled. Maybe point the toes out a little bit. See how the toes look somewhat straight ahead-ish? They look straight. They could be pointed out. The knees can come forward of the barbell in a conventional deadlift. Not so much in a sumo deadlift, but in a conventional deadlift. A thing that people don't realize in a deadlift is once you do that, you have to move your knees back out of the way. The only way to do that is to drive your heels into the floor and to flex your legs hard, flex your quads hard, and flex your butt hard. You want to get your legs out of the way. Try to almost straighten your knees out without having your butt shoot up too much. Chest positioning's good. Head positioning's not bad. Back positioning's not bad. Hips are too low. Points off. So let's take a look at this one in slow motion. Yikesy wikesy. Son of a bee. Okay, let's back this one up. We got some things to talk about here. Okay, so as I mentioned with the hips, these guys right here, this butt back here, this booty, pa-pow, right? We need to have this thing be up higher. The butt needs to be up higher than where she's starting here. So her butt needs to be, let's see, her butt needs to be right about here, where she's at right here. Because the weights, if you look at the weights, they're still on the ground, right? Now that her butt has raised up, watch the weight shoot off the floor. Look at that, huh? Why is that? Part of the reason is because now her knees are out of the way and she's got some clearance. So now we got 255 pounds on the bar, and that one not much to analyze because it's just simply too heavy. With this one, 230 pounds, this should be more manageable for her. However, she doesn't get herself tight before making contact with the barbell. You have to get yourself tight before you make contact with the barbell in a deadlift. You have to reach down to the bar very carefully. You have to have tightness, and you have to have feeling through your hamstrings, through your lower back, through your lats. These are all very hard things to develop. There's tough things to learn. But the faster you learn them, the better off you're going to be. And that is sometimes where hypertrophy type work, doing things like stiff leg deadlifts, doing regular deadlifts for repetitions, doing lat pull downs and pull-ups, that's where those types of things can really play favor to you in this type of lift, because now you can start to feel some of those muscles that you built up. You can see her just getting stuck at the knees. Can't get the knees out of the way. And if she did what we talked about earlier, drove the heels through the floor a little harder from the beginning, she may have had enough clearance to get that weight up. But then she just kind of gets too rounded. Also, having those knee sleeves on during a deadlift is probably not a great idea. So now we got 255 on the bar again. Let's see what happens here. It's hard to analyze a lift when somebody just has a little bit too much weight on the bar, so not a ton to say here, really. We got 260 pounds on the bar here, and this form is a little bit better. This is kind of the form we're looking for. They get a little rounded in the back, you know. We got a little rounded back. Whoop, that was the butt. We got a little rounded back here, didn't we? But that's not too bad. That's acceptable. She's got a belt on. She's not going to die. And so that was a pretty good pull. I liked how she had her chest up. I like, she does a move in the beginning that it's hard to see, but watch what she does with her shoulders. She kind of rolled the shoulders back just a little bit, and you'll get a better image of that on this next lift. Now this lifter's really been holding out on people. She doesn't really, I don't think she's sharing this information, because watch what she does with her shoulders before she goes. I think she's being selfish. She's holding on to this information so she can pull 300 pounds and then laugh about it. But look at that. See how she did that with her shoulders? That's a move that like professionals make. That is just awesome. That's engaging the lats. She didn't pinch her shoulder blades up and back. She just brought her shoulders down and back, which is just great. I barely know how to do that. Look at that. And now everything's in perfect alignment. Chest is up, head's neutral, back's flat, butt's in a good position, and here she goes. Wham! Easy weight, lightweight. Yeah, buddy. Now she makes too big of a jump here, in my opinion. 305, 255 to 305 is a little insane, but maybe there's some good music on this day. Maybe she was getting hyped up. And then also to not have a belt on, that's a party foul for a powerlifter. And now you can see the Great Depression that comes with that, and now she's going to go home and cry and eat ice cream. Make sure that you're making small enough jumps that are manageable for you. 255, good strong pull. Only thing I saw there was the knee shoot in a little bit. We got 270 on the bar now. Now let's see what we can see here. Now we see that. Look at that knee. Look at that knee cave in, and now she's kind of heading this way. Maybe she's going to walk over here to this guy and show her that she knows how to deadlift. Strong lifting, but we got to do something about that knee. What we have to do is turn that foot out just a little bit. Bring the stance in a little bit, rather. That's actually the most important thing. Bring the stance in, bring the grip out a little bit, and then force your knees out against your arms a little bit more. You kind of have that going on here, which is great. But this arm is just, it's too closed off. You don't have enough room down there. Okay, let's keep this rolling here. We got to keep it rolling. More people. You sent me a video of like 1,000 people. So here she goes, 280. And now at this point, just out of gas, and then both knees touched each other, which is kind of amazing. I don't know how she did that. 285. Now we're getting into some serious weights here. This is getting to be pretty awesome. A good strong rip there by her, but we have the back rounded over too much. Just because she's strong doesn't mean she doesn't suck. So let's go back. And I shouldn't say that. That's mean, right? Sometimes as a coach, you have to just lay it out there for people. But the back gets too rounded, right? We can't have that. What is this garbage? She's being lazy from the very beginning. And so what happens? She smokes the weight off the floor. Yeah, I'm just going to rip this off the ground with this rounded back. This will be perfect. And then it's hard to kind of lock out. It's tough to really stick it in there and lock those hips through the rounded back. Now we're going for 315. And see how the lockout is becoming such an issue because she's so folded over. Outstanding lifting by her. I don't want to discredit that lift by any means. I just want to say, get yourself tight, sister. Tighten up that lower back. Make sure you're working the midline. Make sure you're working the lower back. Make sure you're working the abs as well. And now here we got nice flat back. Got the chest up. Got the head up enough. Let's see what happens here. 370. Look at that. So when you start with good positioning, good things can happen. Let's see if he gets himself tight before he starts to lift. He does. And there he goes. And we saw a little hitch there, but like I said, those things are going to happen. Now he's got 375 on. And he doesn't think that we can zoom in, but we can. And see, he's making small jumps, and that's smart on his part. Those are both good lifts. Not a ton to say there. Lifting without a belt is cool. It's a nice way to strengthen yourself up a little bit, you know, before you get into the belt. But I'd still say throw a belt on and show us what you can do. Pretty good positioning here. I like how he kind of sat back into it. Whoops. I like how he kind of sat back into that lift. A little saggy in the lower back, but not too bad. Looks like a taller athlete. Let's go back here a little bit and let's see. Beautiful socks. Wow. Look at that. So watch what he does here. He gets some tension through the hammies and drops his butt. See that move there? And now he's tight before he ever starts his pull. And he's able to do his pull. And he's able to finish. Although he was cheating with some lifting straps. I'm not sure what that's about. Okay, so this guy's doing, this is kind of a dive bomb move. It's been around for a little while. People have done this move before. This guy's not the inventor of it. Some people like to do that, like to get tight before they grab the bar, and that type of execution isn't bad. However, that usually only works up until about 90%, and then crap just hits the fan. We got 485 pounds on here now. And now it's getting a little tougher, but good way to rip through that weight. Again, I'd like to see a lifting belt on this guy. 515. It's just starting to be a little too much. See how he ripped himself out of position? So here he's going to try it again. Let's see if we can get better positioning here. Just not enough gas anymore. And here now we have Justin Riley going back. Going with 265 on some speed pulls, and let's back this one up just a little bit. Pretty nice pulling by him. I mean, not a ton to say there. It looks like it's a somewhat of a. Well, it looks like it's from the floor actually. Let's see what we can see. Chest is up. I'd say maybe let's see if we can kind of gut wrench those elbows back, those shoulders back, as we saw earlier from one of the girls that you train. But Justin's making a lot of strides in his deadlift. Justin's smart enough to realize that strength is never a weakness, and I appreciate him coming to me to have him analyze his crew. And that is it from supertraining.tv.